Tonight we report on an arson conviction for a woman who set her home on fire, and a bill to add a surcharge to the Gorge Amphitheater tickets moves forward in the state legislature. What's going on in sports, Bob?
Thanks, Alan. The Huskies and Cougars land their top recruits on National Signing Day, and Oregon gets past Washington on the hardwood. Let's take a peek at our Weather Center forecast.
Hello everyone, we have a wet weather pattern for the beginning of the weekend. I'll let you know who will see the heaviest amount of rainfall for the start of the weekend just ahead with our extended forecast.
I'm Alan Troop, and we have all this and much more on Ifiber One News.
From the Ifiber One HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is Ifiber One News, your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is Ifiber One News, and it starts now.
A Moses Lake woman is going to prison for setting her mobile home on fire and lying about the contents. A jury convicted 47-year-old Maria Hernandez Martinez in Grant County Superior Court of arson, making false or misleading statements to a public servant, and false claims. Judge John Nodell sentenced her to 2 years and 6 months in prison. Hernandez Martinez set her Road 4 Northeast mobile home on fire using gasoline in August 2012. The mobile home had been replaced in 2009 after her previous home had caught on fire. Investigators found traces of the gasoline near one of the walls close to an air conditioner. Hernandez Martinez initially told investigators she lost a leather handbag with $3,800 in cash in it and 2 televisions in the fire. Investigators didn't find any sign of the cash or televisions. Soap Lake Council member Robert Brown continues to be under fire for nearly triggering an early annexation election. Reporter Jeff Chu has the details.
Soap Lake City Councilman Robert Brown, who is being pressured by fellow council members to resign, said he is still considering that option after he defended himself at Wednesday night's council meeting.
Still thinking about it, but the attitude of council and the terrible assassination that I took at the previous meeting, it still makes me feel unwanted.
Brown is under fire for nearly triggering an April ballot proposing the city of Soap Lake's annexation into Grant County Fire District 7. Documents that Brown delivered to the Grant County Commissioners and the County Auditor's Office on January 5th called for an April election when council members on January 7th discussed and agreed to delay filing paperwork. The council's intent was to time submission of documents to schedule a November vote within the city and fire district. Council members said this would give city and fire district officials adequate time to educate voters on the annexation proposal. Brown defended himself Wednesday night. It resulted in a heated exchange with Councilwoman Joanne Rushton, who filed the complaint against Brown.
You did not say one word that said, oh, on the 5th, I took the letters up there. We talked about it for an hour. You never said a word about this letter. We have always talked about November. We never said we wanted it in April.
I beg to differ with you. You voted for this this
yes,
ordinance.
You did.
And
it doesn't mean it has to be filed today.
Brown's actions led council members on January 21st to formally admonish him for acting without the council's legal authorization. Brown called in sick and did not attend that meeting. The council, at City Attorney Catherine Kennison's recommendation, voted January 21st to void the documents Brown submitted to the county commissioners. I'm Jeff Chu for Ifiber One News.
Ordered not to talk to her.
Moses Lake emergency personnel were recognized Thursday morning for their life-saving CPR efforts during 3 cardiac arrest calls in the past few months. Reporter Joe Utter has the story.
More than a dozen emergency personnel were honored in Moses Lake Thursday morning for their CPR life-saving efforts. Members of the Moses Lake Fire and Police Departments and MAC Dispatch were on hand to recognize their co-workers' life-saving actions during 3 incidents involving cardiac arrest. In all 3, high-performance CPR was used to save the patients. Assistant Fire Chief Pete Kunjara said it takes everyone to have a successful CPR save.
It takes a lot of different people in the community. Start out with the dispatcher, the family member who know how to do CPR, and police department.
Moses Lake EMTs use a more intense and effective version of CPR called high-performance CPR that requires faster and deeper chest compressions. The department's EMT instructor explains.
Okay, high-performance CPR is a group effort that is a minimum of 6 people on the scene in order to do it efficiently. So you have 2 people that are trading off doing CPR. Nobody does CPR for more than 2 minutes at a time because of the high performance on it. You lose your efficiency after 2 minutes. It's a group thing that is done with high training. It's manpower intensive, so it takes 6 people to do it correctly.
This is Joe Utter for Ifiber One News.
And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
Short break, we'll be right back.